Hi, Pisces, Sun, Moon, and Rising. This is going to be your general mini cross reading for February 2021. Um, I have missed you guys. I've been working on the website. Oh my God. And you'll be hearing about that when I post up an open reading a little bit later. So, I have already done some meditation and shuffling on your sign. What I have with me today are the Radiant White deck, of course, the La Vida Sibila, and then we'll be clarifying with the Golden Nostradamus, who has been doing the most while I have been away. So you'll hear all about that in a bit. So I'm going to go ahead and turn the camera around so that we can get our cards down. I hope that everybody has been well. For those of you who are new to my channel, whenever Mercury retrograde comes around, I kind of just like disappear off the scene. I've been trying so hard over the past few years to try to overcome that, but I am ruled by Mercury. I'm a Virgo sun and a Gemini moon, and so I literally, people who've been with me for a while know that I just kind of disappear off the scene, but I always try to go back and work on some old projects. So that's why you haven't heard from me. I haven't forgotten about you guys. So let's go ahead and shuffle and get these cards down. We're going to start with in the middle. This is where we are at the moment. Oh, wow. We have the Sun card, the Unknown Influence, the Seven of Pentacles. That's funny, Pisces. What we know to be true. Okay, the Known Influence, the Six of Swords, the Near or Distant Past. Wow. The Hierophant. Some of you want to move. Okay, that's what this is telling me, and you're either waiting on some funds to come in to do that. And the near or distant future. The Hermit. Well, that's very, very strange. And the reason why I say that is because these two cards are rather similar in terms of how they operate. The Hierophant and the Hermit represent powers that run through people. So the Hierophant can be someone who's able to counsel and dispense knowledge from a quote-unquote higher source, or who's able to interpret that. This will sometimes show up like if you work in a company and there's a hierarchical structure and you got the guy at the top and he's telling you what the rules and the regulations are. Okay, this card can also speak to some kind of contractual issue, the joining of forces with two people. But this person can also be rather dogmatic, right? And it's either their way or the highway. They have the moral high ground and you have to come up to their standards. Now, the Hermit is a student and a scholar, right? And so he spends his time all alone, not in the company of others, but all alone, trying to search for the truth. And what he's doing at this moment in the card, he's frozen in time. Inside of his lantern, there's a star. Can you see that? And that star is not only for him to see his way through the darkness, right? But it is also to light the way for those who come seeking him or looking for him to find information, lighting their way through the dark. So he has knowledge to dispense as well. It's just two different types of personalities that we are dealing with, but it's pretty much kind of the same thing. Now, I have my three major arcanas right across the center. So this tells me that this is something really big for you. And having the sun in the center tells me that this is going to be illuminated for you. However, on the backside of this, you may question, okay, what it was that you've been trying to do or wanting to do. And it's okay to question things, right? It's okay to seek a deeper meaning or deeper understanding. The thing is, you don't want to try to be in the hermit situation too long. I do get the sense, because the Hierophant rules your second house, and your second house is your own finances, not those that you have in terms of you married someone and y'all got a mortgage and out. This is things that you own. It's all that you own, earn, or owe personally yourself. So it represents your stocks, your bonds, your bank account, your personal possessions, your movable possessions. But it also speaks to your values and value systems. Who or what is more important than money? Who or what is more important than gold? Right? Now, the Seven of Pentacles is waiting for the harvest to come in. And I see this card show up a lot of times when people feel as though they've been working and working and working, and they haven't received the recognition, and they certainly ain't getting paid what they for the, equal to the amount of work that they've been putting in. But this seven also says that whatever it is that you've been tending, you've been doing a good job at it. But now there's another thing that's coming, and it's at your feet, right? And you are either trying to determine whether or not you got enough room over here to add it, okay? And if you do add it, are you going to, get that recognition? Because that's what the sun is all about. The sun is about how you shine, how you attract attention to yourself. It speaks to rewards and accolades, the light being shined on you. But then we see this odd Six of Swords. And the Six of Swords is the idea of moving away from troubled water to smoother waters. This is either mentally or psychologically moving away from something that has bothered you. Also, it is the idea that even though you may be leaving a situation, you are taking your thoughts or the experience of what of the messages and the communications and the things that you've gone through with you. And in a way, they're kind of protecting you as you go on this journey. This also has to do with this cycle of Aquarius. And the reason why I say that is that rippled water suddenly just leaped out at me. That's sort of like the sign of Aquarius. So this can either be someone coming in to, quote unquote, lead you or guide you in the direction you need to go. But this can sometimes, to me, this man can show up like the universe moving you along. I'm not sure if this is something where there are children involved, because I do have the baby here and the child here. For all I know, this could even be a marriage, and it looks like maybe this the sun is shining on this, that maybe it is time for this marriage to, either evolve, or maybe it's time to put it to rest. Maybe the relationship has run out of road, okay? And this is why we find the Hermit. So this could be this idea that you are leaving to be alone or will be alone. But at the same time, everything that has happened to you will be illuminated to you. And I don't feel you're going to be in this energy very long. What is underneath the deck? We have the Eight of Swords. The idea that you are stuck and you don't see your way out of it. Well, that's a mental thing. It's not true. We put ourselves in position, we oftentimes will ask questions, why did this happen to me? Or how did I end up in this situation? And if we take a moment to stop and look back, it all becomes clear to us, right? That we ourselves placed ourselves in this situation. And the only way that we're going to get ourselves out is to take the blindfolds off, face reality, look at the reality of the situation, recognize that you're not all bound up, you're not locked in, you can get out. So sometimes this is worry. I'm waiting for the money to come in, or I'm waiting for the recognition that's due me, or I'm waiting for something to happen. That number 7, maybe it's been 7 years. I'm not exactly sure. I am going to grab my big book because I have these 3 cards across the center, and the major arcana hold more weight any day of the week than the pip cards here. As you see, there are no court cards here. So this tells me that this is about you, Pisces. And the other interesting thing is from the 6 to the 8 gives me 2 swords. So this tells me that you have a choice you need to make. But I think you are fearful of it. Maybe you are fearful of being alone. Maybe the relationship in the past or the marriage was successful, but we see that that is changing now. So let me see if I can find any meaning of this 6 and the 7 of Pentacles next to these three major arcana cards here. The Sun being in the center does tell you that it will be okay. Will you be lonely? Maybe. Will you question things? Yes. But you still have the light of the sun to see your way through this. So let's see. Doesn't tell me anything, the 7 of Pentacles, by these three cards. Okay. So I'm going to look at the 6 of Swords here. And that is the 4. That's the 5. Here we are, the 6. And it tells me nothing. Honestly, it tells me nothing. Now, I'm just on the off chance that maybe the 8 has an additional meaning. It does. With the Sun, it implies that regardless of the current adverse conditions, a definite change for the better is on the way. It tells you to persist, as your hard work, effort, and intent will bring the desired outcome to fruition in quick time. But I think for some of you, what is holding you back or what is making you fearful is this energy. I don't know, going it alone, being alone. So I'm going to take a look at that for you and see what the Sibilas have to counsel. Because it's not a bad card. It's a Virgo card. It is the idea of ruled by Mercury, and it is the idea of Virgo rules work, service, and duty, right? It's the house of work. Is what you're doing serving you? Are you getting enough sleep? Are you dividing up your hours enough days so that you can take care of yourself, so that you can go out and do the same things that you've been doing before? And if not, why not? So this rules everything from the way that you sleep to, and I think that some of you have been getting some kind of, I don't know, inklings or indication while you are sleeping or in your dreams. The reason why I say that he's is in a meditative state. Okay? The star there. So I think some of you have been having some kind of dreams that are trying to point you in the right direction, and maybe in your waking hours you're not making that connection. Okay, so let's see what this Hermit has to say here. The precious presence. The Ammalato. And the Prigione. Quite interesting. The precious presents are just that. These are gifts. They could be jewels. They could be stock, something of value, right? That is either given to you or shared with you. I've seen it show up sometimes when it speaks about somebody who is accustomed to luxury. They could come from a wealthy family. But here we have the Ammalato. The Ammalato is the sick person. And whenever he shows up, it speaks to a situation. It brands a situation as unclean or tainted in some way. Just as sickness is the antithesis of health, right? Then so is this idea that whatever these trinkets and jewels and things represent to you, it appears that, going back to your values, that maybe perhaps either your value system is changing or maybe the other person's value. I think it's your value system. You know, like, wow, you may be living the lap of luxury, but you're really not happy in the situation. Does that make any sense? But here we have the Prigione. I find this to be quite interesting because this is a 9 of Swords, but it's almost like the 8 of Swords. So this is the idea that someone is in a situation in which they haven't figured out quite how to extricate themselves, right? And you've got several chances. Here's an unopened window, which you can escape, right? Here are There's a few steps to get there. There's the vase that contains all of the wisdom and the emotion that you need to make the decision. Here is the handrail that you can hold on to for support, right? But yet we see this individual chained there. Now, I will say to you that there's another energy coming off of this, and sometimes this card will show up when there have been some problems in terms of having to do with children. And what I mean by that is this could speak to some kind of stepchild. We do have children here. But more often than not, it will show up if there's a pregnancy and someone doubts the parents. They doubt that they are the father of the kid. Right? Maybe they're not. And maybe that's what the whole crux of the situation is. Maybe the person won't give you any recognition or due, or won't accept the child as their own. In which case, what do you do? Well, and I don't think the person is going to budge. Okay? Now, this could be some kind of family situation where, you know, maybe the person was intent on, let's say, having a son, and there's not a son to carry on the name. It might be a daughter, and the person is just being a real butthead about it. But that's also a customs and a value thing, is it not? Number 17. Now this is interesting because this is the Knight. And as you well know, for me, Knights bring news and messages. But this is something else as well. I know him well, and he loves only you. Pining and aching, no other will do. A wedding is on the horizon, or perhaps an alliance with an important, noble, or powerful person is in the offing. Academic diplomas, honors, or newfound freedoms or powers may arrive. So now I got this second thing. You know, I don't know if maybe this was a proposal, a marriage that was supposed to happen, and then suddenly the person backs out. Or maybe it's you. Maybe this is a marriage of someone who's wealthy, but at the last minute you're just like, I can't do it for whatever reason. I don't know. That's quite interesting, Pisces. It appears to me that you have a lot of decisions to make, and I don't feel that you quite know what exactly to do, so you don't have all of the information that you need. Count on the sun to show you the way, okay? It should become clear to you. You're just going to have to put yourself in a state where you can see it. So if this is you're having dreams, right? You're getting some kind of visions or something at night, and that really what it feels like. Pay attention to whatever that is, okay? If it's some little niggling feeling, something, pay attention to it, okay? That's quite interesting. And so that's what I have for you for February. I do hope those messages help. And until next time, Pisces, namaste. And please stay safe, okay? Bye.